If you find yourself outside the safety of the hedge of Bree, or the quiet fields of the 4 farthings of the Shire, you may spot, in the shadows of the wood, a lone wanderer, roaming the lands, their intentions all but unknown. Greenlanders have called them rangers, strange folk who would rather be amongst the wild beasts than amongst other men, and prefer the cold bite of the winds to that of a warm, firelit hearth. The Rangers of the North are a secret people, severely diminished in number with the passing of 1,000 years. They wander in disguise among the ruins of what once was their kingdom of Arnor, tirelessly patrolling its many paths and roads. While the years have lengthened, the tasks of the Rangers have always been the same: to keep the folk of Eriador free from care and fear. They labor secretly, keeping to themselves, and rarely giving their names to the travelers they save or to the folk whose farms they guard at night, when evil things come out of the dark places. Rangers are the last descendants of the North, of the Dunedain, kings among men that once came to Middle-earth over the sea out of the Westernesse. When they do not disguise their features, they are tall and lordly, towering above most men. They are often silent and grim of countenance, and look wise and mature beyond their years. Rangers take to the wild around the age of 20, but may begin to go on adventures even at a younger age. They retain their strength of body and will longer than most men, but usually cease to travel far from Eriador when they reach their 50s. When in the wild, they wear comfortable but weather-beaten garments, favoring high leather boots and heavy cloaks of dark gray or green cloth, with ample hoods that can be cast over a worn helm. Players choosing to roleplay a Ranger of the North will find that they will be playing a character that has the blood of kings within them. Some say that the lordship of the folk of Arnor is just a thing of the past, yet a Ranger of the North has inherited the sinews of those men who wrested the ring from the burning hand of Sauron himself. Kings of Men is a cultural blessing for the Rangers of the North. Add 1 point to any one attribute of the player's choice. However, due to their lineage to the kings of old, the Rangers are devoted to fighting Sauron and his minions by an ancient tradition of war and strife. During the Fellowship phase, not Yule, you recover a maximum number of hope points equal to half your heart score, rounding fractions up. Rangers rarely wear or carry anything whose worth cannot be measured in a practical way. Their gear or garments are never considered precious for the gleam of stone or gold, but for their capability to endure long journeys and strenuous fights. Players playing a Ranger of the North start as frugal for their standard of living. Rangers of the North are strong of body and heart, but whether by choice or by spending their lives alone roaming the lands, they lack some of the wits and wisdom granted by others who would rather the company of other free peoples of Eriador. Rangers enjoy great endurance to brave the many trials experienced in the wild, and are capable combatants. But their memory and burden of their past weighs heavy on their hearts, their hope fading with the encroaching shadow. Within a company, a ranger makes for a great guide, a hunter, a lookout, or a scout when doing journeys throughout Eriador, with their skills matching this prowess. Rangers typically prefer swords or spears, and choosing some type of ranged weapon, like a bow. Bold, honorable, secretive, stern, subtle, swift, tall, true-hearted. These are all words that come to mind when one spots a Ranger of the North. The native language of the Dunedain is the Westron, or common speech. Some still learn the Sindarin Elven tongue, as it is handed down from generation to generation. They retain an ancient tradition of naming their children using that fair speech. Baranor, Damron, Findamir, Targon, Alberath, Fingelas, Loreth, Orthel. Rangers are what remains in the north of the great people that came to Middle-earth out of the Westernesse, the Númenóreans. Their nobility of blood is exemplified by their many talents, even if their number has dwindled and their struggle has destined them to a life of secrecy. They say that a ranger with a clear trail to follow can never be weary. You hope the saying will prove true, as it will be your fate to often travel in haste to seek distant lands on urgent errands. Endurance of the ranger raises your maximum endurance rating by 1 point. If you wear a suit of leather armor with no helm, or no armor at all, and carry no shield, you never gain fatigue during a journey. Foresight of their kindred. The Rangers of the North still possess a measure of the foresight that their ancestors possessed in full. In the twilight of the Third Age, this gift manifests as a sense of watchfulness and of fear, arising to warn a ranger of a danger that has not yet come to pass. During an adventuring phase, you may invoke your gift of foresight a number of times equal to your wisdom rating, to bestow it upon yourself or another member of the company. This gift can be spent on any moment to re-roll all the dice involved in any one roll, whether made by the player here or an adversary targeting them. Heir of Arnor. The days of your folk have darkened, and not many of you remain, but ever the memory of the kings is passed from generation to generation. An artifact going back to the days of the lost Arnor has been in possession of your family, in a line unbroken. Now you have been deemed worthy to become its keeper. With the help of the lore master, use the rules on page 161 to create either a marvelous artifact or a famous weapon possessing a single enchanted reward and up to 2 normal rewards. Your kin belongs to a bloodline of kings, but they have learned to hide from their enemies in the twilight years of their kingdom. Should you choose to reveal your heritage, your noble bearing will cause your allies to cast away their doubts. Royalty revealed allows a player once per combat. When you fight in an open stance, you may attempt the Rally Comrades combat task as a secondary action. Additionally, all members of the company, you included, are inspired on all their roles in the following round. Strength of will. You have been raised in the land dotted with desolate ruins and burial mounds. You have heard the dead whisper with cold voices out of the lonely barrows, while ghostly lights dance on haunted hills. When your will strengthens your heart, there is hardly anything in this world that can dismay you. You gain 1d on all shadow tests made to resist the effects of dread. The Rangers of the North roam ceaselessly, hunting for wicked things and guarding all frontiers. For the wild has become as familiar as the road that leads home, as familiar to hobbits, and the land itself may reveal useful tidings. Ways of the Wild grant you that whenever you are making a roll using explore, hunting, or travel, you can spend 1 hope to achieve a magical success. Additionally, you are always allowed to cover more than 1 roll during a journey. This is the final spotlight of our heroic culture found in the core rulebook of the One Ring Roleplaying Game. Next up, we take a look at the heroic culture, the High Elves of Rivendell, found in the Rivendell supplement for the One Ring Roleplaying Game. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, hit that bell icon to be aware of when a new video drops on the channel. I'm Ryan of the North. Thank you for watching.